The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Captain Ellen Rowe stepped through the crystalline archway. Her boots, scuffed and worn from 100 worlds, echoed against the polished obsidian floor. Around her, representatives from 37 species sat in tiered seats that spiraled upward like the inside of a nautilus shell, their eyes in every conceivable shape and color, fixed upon her with expressions ranging from curiosity to thinly veiled contempt. She was human. That alone made her an anomaly. Behind her, something moved. The council members tensed. A low rumbling sound filled the chamber, not quite a growl, not quite a purr. From the shadows of the archway emerged Cairn, padding forward on 4 massive paws. The cub stood as tall as Ellen's shoulder, covered in midnight blue fur that shimmered with bioluminescent patterns. Fangs the length of human fingers peeked from his muzzle, and his eyes, bright amber and far too intelligent, scanned the assembly with predatory focus. "Counselor Vexthar," Ellen said, her voice steady despite the weight of 1,000 stares. "I've come as requested to discuss the Theion integration protocols." The Vexthar, a serpentine creature with scales like molten copper, slithered forward on his elevated platform. "Ah yes, the human." He drew out the word as if it tasted sour. "And you've brought your pet." Cairn's lips curled back, revealing more of those impressive teeth. The rumbling in his chest deepened. "Cairn is not a pet," Ellen replied coolly. "He's a Therian juvenile under diplomatic protection. His species requested human guardianship during their integration period." "Guardianship," repeated Counselor Jakara, an insectoid being whose mandibles clicked with amusement. "How quaint. A death worlder pretending to nurture instead of destroy." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Ellen had expected this. Humanity's reputation preceded them. A species that evolved on a planet so hostile that its very existence seemed designed to kill them. High gravity, extreme weather, aggressive fauna, and a rotation that exposed them to dangerous levels of radiation. Yet humans not only survived, they thrived. They laughed at their predicaments. They made art about their suffering. They turned their world's hostility into strength. The galaxy found this unsettling. "The Therion Council chose us specifically," Ellen continued. "They studied 200 species before making their decision." Yes. Vexthar waved a clawed appendage dismissively. "Because you're good with animals. The galaxy's pet handlers. How appropriate for a species that domesticated predators for companionship." More laughter. Ellen's jaw tightened, but she remained silent. She'd learned long ago that defending humanity's relationship with Earth's creatures only made things worse. How could she explain the bond between human and dog, human and cat, human and horse, to species that viewed other sentients as tools or threats? The real question, Jakara leaned forward, is whether we can trust a species of apex predators to raise another species of apex predators. The Therion are not your domesticated Earth canines, human. In 5 years, that cub will be large enough to bite a shuttle in half. In 5 years, Ellen said quietly, Cairn will be a full ambassador of his people, educated, cultured, and prepared to represent Therion interests in this very council. Under your training. Vexthar's tone dripped with skepticism. "Tell me, Captain Rowe, what makes humans qualified to guide a species through galactic integration? Your people have been spacefaring for barely 2 centuries. You're infants on the cosmic stage." Ellen opened her mouth to respond, but Cairn moved first. The cub stepped forward, positioning himself between Ellen and the council. His bioluminescent patterns flared bright, a sign of aggression in Therion physiology. The rumble in his chest became a full-throated growl that vibrated through the chamber's very structure. "Cairn," Ellen began. "No." The word came out in perfect, if accented, galactic standard. Several council members gasped. Therion cubs weren't supposed to speak yet. Their vocal cords didn't fully develop until adolescence. But Cairn had been practicing in secret, driven by a stubborn determination that Ellen recognized all too well. "You call her a pet handler," Cairn continued, his voice gaining strength. "You mock her species. You question her capability." His amber eyes blazed. "But I have seen what you have not." The chamber held its collective breath. When the Therion Council debated guardianship, we reviewed records from every spacefaring species. We saw the Vexthar's creches, efficient, sterile, focused solely on intellectual development. We saw the Zakaran hives, organized, productive, but without individual identity. We saw dozens of methods for raising young, and none felt right. Cairn's tail lashed behind him. Then we studied humans, and we discovered something remarkable. Humans don't just raise their young, they raise everyone's young. They see a helpless creature, and their instinct isn't to ignore it or exploit it. Their instinct is to protect it. Sentiment, Vexthar scoffed. Weakness disguised as strength. Cairn roared, and even the most ancient counselors flinched. You want to know why the Theion chose humans? Because they are the only species in this galaxy that looked at a world trying to kill them and responded by making it their home. They didn't flee to easier planets. They didn't genetically modify themselves beyond recognition. They adapted. They endured. They bonded with the very predators that hunted them and turned them into family. Ellen felt her throat tighten. She'd never heard Cairn speak like this, with such passion, such clarity. Captain Rowe doesn't see me as a project or a burden, the cub continued, his voice softening but losing none of its intensity. She sees me as someone worthy of becoming great. She pushes me when I'm lazy. She comforts me when I'm afraid. She celebrates my victories and sits with me through my failures. That is not a pet handler. That is not a trainer. Cairn turned his massive head, looking up at Ellen with those impossibly intelligent eyes. That is a guardian. The silence that followed was profound. Ellen placed a hand on Cairn's shoulder, feeling the tension in his muscles slowly release. She looked out at the council, meeting their gazes one by one. The Therion didn't choose us because we're perfect, she said softly. They chose us because we understand that raising someone, truly raising them, means preparing them to surpass you. Humans have always known that our children should be better than we are. Stronger, wiser, kinder. She smiled, a fierce expression that reminded everyone present that yes, humans were apex predators too. And if that makes us pet handlers in your eyes, then so be it. But know this, when the Therion take their place among the galactic powers, and they will, they'll remember who believed in them. And who called them pets. Vexithar slithered back slightly. Shakara's mandibles closed with an audible snap. Counselor Mirath, an elder being of pure energy who had remained silent throughout, finally spoke. Her voice resonated like wind chimes. The motion to review human guardianship of Therion integration is withdrawn. Captain Rowe, you may continue your work. As Ellen and Cairn turned to leave, the cub's bioluminescent patterns shifted to a warm, content blue. Did I do well? He whispered. Ellen grinned. You did perfectly. Though we're going to have a talk about keeping secrets from me. You keep secrets too, Cairn pointed out. You never told me how scared you were coming here. How did you... Your heartbeat. I can always hear it. He bumped his massive head against her side affectionately. That's what guardians do. They face their fears so we don't have to face ours alone. As they exited the chamber, Captain Ellen Rowe realized that perhaps she wasn't just teaching Cairn about the galaxy. Perhaps he was teaching her something too, about the strength found in bonds freely given and the power of choosing to believe in someone, even when the entire galaxy doubts them, especially then.